yourself comfortable on the floor. And just take in how nice it is to lie down. You can let yourself rest. You can let your body kind of, I don't know, like almost like a loaf of bread, an unbaked dough, actually, that you put down on the counter. It kind of seeps out in all directions. Yeah, and then bring your attention to seeing. Even with your eyes closed, there's still visual experience happening. A pattern of light, a whole field of light. See if you can let your whole visual field be unified. One visual experience. Let your vision be very wide. And let's just explore the visual field a little bit here. So notice the shape of your overall visual field. It has a shape, kind of oblong. Way out in the periphery on either side, a little bit narrower, and in the middle it's a little bit taller. Just appreciate the size and shape of your visual field. And check to see if there's a particular mood present or an expectation that you want something to happen, or that you're waiting for something, or that you're trying to do something in particular. See if you can notice that, and then let that dissolve. So that in appreciating your visual field here, it really is just that. It's being with, or just letting it be, without trying to make anything happen necessarily. And what you might notice is that there's actually quite a lot happening in your visual field. It's not just sort of a blur here with your eyes closed. There's actually a bunch of different colors happening. And how exactly are those colors showing up? Like, take a look at some of the fine-grained detail of the colors you see behind your closed eyes. You might notice, actually, if you pay close enough attention, that is kind of like the static on a TV. Little points of light. Hundreds of thousands of points of light coming into existence and then disappearing. And that's what creates your visual field. In some ways, this kind of meditation on the fine-grained detail of sensory experience is like peering further back into the way our senses are constructed by our nervous system. At one level of visual processing, at the very highest levels, we see objects. We know that we're seeing objects. And we can identify objects and how they move, etc. At a layer below that, there's just shapes and colors and movement. And there are parts of your brain that are meant for each of those kinds of aspects. And below that is just, individual neurons firing. And I wonder, I don't know for sure, I'm not a neuroscientist, but I wonder if all these little pinpricks of light, these little sparkles, that if you peer closely enough at the details of your visual field, like what makes up that one kind of color, you'll see that's almost like static on a TV, that kind of quality of points of light coming in and out of existence very, very, very quickly. And I wonder if that's almost like seeing individual neurons firing in your visual cortex. So let's just take a minute here and appreciate that. I believe it is that way for all of our senses. Excuse me. If you notice fine-grained details of sensory experience for your body, physical sensations, if you pay attention closely enough, you can kind of lose even the shape of your body in a certain sense. The physical sensations are cloud-like and amorphous, made up of tens of thousands of little points of sensation coming into and out of existence. Even the most solid-seeming sensation, pain, pressure, the feeling of your back on the ground. If you look closely enough, if you feel it closely enough, you might notice that there's that cloud of sensations, or that kind of static, television static happening even with physical sensations. So in our last minute of this meditation, notice the edges of your visual field. Notice especially how you don't see like your eyeballs or your eyelids on those edges. You can feel sensations of your eyeballs and your eyelids, but you don't see anything there. In fact, from the visual experience point of view, there's nothing. There's just nothing outside the edges of your visual experience. So notice that space, that nothingness, in which your visual experience just somehow appears by no doing of your own. All right, and then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and know that even this, all the light and color and shapes and the visual clarity, all of this is still within your visual field. Everything that you see you see it only because it's within your field of consciousness, your visual field here. And even when something looks very sharp and well defined, it's still being made up by all these little points of light that come in and out of existence so quickly. All right, and then when you're ready, let's get on up.